You are listening to Practical and Woo by Mindset and Manifest. My name is Eden, and I invite you to embark on a journey with me to explore the practical and spiritual edges of the unknown for the purpose of allowing you to embody and empower yourself uniquely as you are and to intentionally create and live a life of freedom and fulfillment. Each week, I am going to discuss topics such as energetics, reality creation, manifestation, astrology, tarot, and more to help empower you to live beyond perceived limitations and to practically design your life so it feels like absolute magic every step of the way. Let's dive in. Well, hello, brilliant soul. Today's contemplation lives at the intersection of identity, manifestation, self-trust, and your inner power. Today we are unpacking the very important difference between wishful thinking versus what is meant when spiritualists invite us to live in the wish fulfilled. Here we have two windows into the same desire that ultimately lead to opposing outcomes. Where one keeps your dream at an arm's length distance, the other has the effect of dissolving the gap entirely. My intention today is for you to walk away from this episode knowing the difference between grasping versus attaining your dream by learning how to effectively sit in the atmosphere of your desire in a way that allows you to actually receive it. So let's dive in. When you feel into it, you will come to notice that wishful thinking has a very specific energetic signature. You can hear it in the voice, you can feel it in the words, you can sense it behind the eyes of someone who is dreaming of a life they do not yet believe is possible for them. It's the tune that's underscoring phrases like, I hope it happens. Wouldn't it be nice if? Maybe one day. Something might shift eventually. I want it so much, and that has to count for something. Wishful thinking at its core keeps your desire outside the perimeter of your identity. It positions your dream as something floating in the distance, a shimmering possibility you can see but can never touch. The desire is admired, contemplated, fantasized about, but never actually claimed. Another way of thinking about the energetic signature of wishful thinking is by contemplating the feeling of longing, a feeling that essentially communicates, I want this, yet I do not believe I can have it. If you sit in this emotional posture for long enough, you start forming unconscious agreements around it. You begin feeling like the dream, your dream, belongs to, at best, another version of you, and at worst, someone else entirely. When you're longing for something, you give away your power to your external world, hoping that you'll somehow be looked upon in the way you're hoping, wishing, yearning for, rather than showing up boldly and inviting yourself to sit at the table. Wishful thinking has another partner in crime, delay, because wishful thinking has a way of stalling your life and keeping it on hold. There is an underlying sensation of almost living your dream life, almost stepping into something bigger, almost becoming who you deeply sense you could actually be. There is often a craving for signs, a dependence on reassurance, a hunger for proof, because wishful thinking is not rooted in the powerful internal knowing that exists within each of us, but it's instead locked on the perspective of the external world, perpetually scanning your environment for evidence that the desire might be possible someday. Wishful thinking is an energy drain. It fractures your attention and puts you in the position of waiting instead of creating. Wishful thinking makes you a spectator of potential, whereas living in the wish fulfilled makes you the author. So let's talk about living in the wish fulfilled. Being in the state of the wish fulfilled carries an energetic signature as well. But this one is one that feels steady, settled, and authentic. It feels like walking into your home and closing the door behind you with no strain, no reaching, no trying to convince yourself that you belong there. It's your home. You belong there. You're able to live there effortlessly. You know it. You feel it. Where longing or wanting feels like reaching, expecting feels like coming home. And when I say expecting in this context, I don't mean the kind of expecting that carries a sharp edge of entitlement. Expecting from the state of the wish fulfilled is the same thing as deeply knowing. It's not demanding. It doesn't ask for things to move faster. It actually carries a tone of warmth, like the way you feel when you know someone you love is on their way to see you. It's not urgent, though sometimes it could be. It's not strained. Instead, there is a natural anticipation that feels grounded, settled, and aligned with who you are. There's just a warm excitement. Living in the wish fulfilled means relating to your desire in this same way and also feeling like your desire already exists as a part of your current reality. Instead of hoping for a future possibility, it's about holding within yourself and knowing that what you want has somehow already happened and reality is just catching up. In the state of the wish fulfilled, your nervous system has the ability to soften. Your imagination becomes your favorite tool rather than a way to escape. And you suddenly feel a calm expectancy rather than a hopeful pressure of wishful thinking. The wish fulfilled is not about pretending or dismissing your physical reality. It's also not about forcing a feeling. What happens when you are living in the wish fulfilled is that you have essentially accessed the inner emotional and energetic environment of the version of you who has achieved and is presently experiencing the reality you're wishing to create. And again, there's a lag. So even if the external world doesn't yet meet this desire, it's holding the knowing that it's already happened, and then there's just this lag that's catching up. It's very similar to many of the themes and concepts that we contemplate on Practical and Woo. Living in the wish fulfilled means you're creating a reverent relationship with yourself. And this is yourself with a capital S, where you have attained a certainty that whether or not your current experience is reflecting to you what you're wanting, you're certain that you have it and you're able to exist there in your mind's eye, as well as in the way your body feels around it. When you drop into the wish fulfilled, your internal dialogue shifts. You stop asking, how will it happen? And you begin noticing that living in this way actually feels natural to you. When something feels natural, it integrates seamlessly into your behavior, your posture, your tone, your decision-making, and your perception of your life. You start responding to your world differently. Not because you're forcing a new pattern, but because the old pattern no longer fits who you know yourself to be. The wish fulfilled reshapes you and your reality from the inside out. It's a shift in your consciousness that influences the way you relate to time, opportunity, and possibility. It moves you out of desperation and into embodiment. In other words, to embody the wish fulfilled means that your body and energy carry the message of this is who I am. I want to be clear here for a moment. You do not need to feel the peak emotion of fulfillment at all times for this to work. And if you are doing that, that would be a sort of forcing, which would essentially bring your state into wishful thinking rather than wish fulfilled. When you step into the identity of the version of yourself who already has fulfilled your desire, everything else recalibrates around that. You are no longer straining to reach your desire. You are no longer measuring how far away from it you are. You are simply orienting your life from the lens of the one who already received, already created, already knows, and already belongs in the life that you are desiring. Identity work is the anchor for all of manifestation work. If your identity does not shift alongside your desire, then the desire can't rise to meet you. Not because it's being withheld, but because the internal structure, aka your identity, is not prepared to sustain the experience in which you're wanting, as much as we wish that weren't the case. Living in the wish fulfilled begins with asking yourself, who am I when this is normal for me? And from there, you can feel for the answer. From there, you can allow it to emerge through your imagination, as well as through the way your body feels and moves. You can also feel it through the way you breathe, the way you sit, the way you allow yourself to rest, contemplate, make decisions, as well as through the tone of your inner voice. When you begin embodying the version of yourself who has what you're wanting, even incrementally, it won't be long before your internal reality becomes your default. And soon after that, you will look around and see in your life that it's finally arrived, and you'll wonder how. It's strange how this works, and I can be the first to voice and admit that. And if you're willing to play in the playground and relate to your reality in this way, your world can and will feel like absolute magic. A great way to know if you're leaning more towards wishful thinking or the wish fulfilled is through your body's awareness. Wishful thinking feels like tightness, anticipation, worry, overactive thought, constantly checking for signs rather than letting the signs show up for you organically, wanting and waiting for reassurance, and feeling the gap between where you are and where you want to be. The wish fulfilled feels like you've arrived with calmness in your heart and peace in your mind, and you just know it is done. You can sense this kind of difference. To embody the wish fulfilled, you need to allow a new emotional baseline to emerge. You need to breathe into the version of you who knows. What I want to address now is how can we have our desires by living in the wish fulfilled, especially when it feels like you're successfully manifesting some parts of your life while still waiting for other parts of it to unfold. Think of the part of your life where things are in flow, the places where you expect consistency, where you trust that there is care there, and you'll know you'll receive reciprocity because those outcomes already feel normal for you. This is the emotional tone of the wish fulfilled. Your nervous system inhabits this particular area of your life with ease because your identity recognizes it as your normal and it's familiar to you. Now, contrast this with the part of your life where you feel the opposite. Instead of natural expectation, there may be grasping. Instead of internal steadiness, you may be feeling anxiety. Instead of a quiet knowing and certainty, you might be overthinking, scanning, bracing for loss. This is the emotional cue that underlies wishful thinking, where longing, hope, and distance are present rather than calm certainty. Every single desire we have has an emotional signature, whether it's a relationship desire, a money desire, a health desire, a creative desire. Your task is to move from wishful thinking to the wish fulfilled, not by chasing the material expression, but by becoming fluent in the emotional tone of what it feels like to have what you're wanting. The emotional tone becomes your compass. And the more you allow a feeling to fill you up, the more natural it feels. And the more natural it feels, the more effortlessly it turns into your manifestation. At the very least, moving from a place of wishful thinking to living in the wish fulfilled is a positive choice to make because wishful thinking has a tendency to erode your self-trust. Rather, the wish fulfilled is deeply intertwined with building your internal faith, confidence, and certainty. Before I leave you, I want to address what happens when doubt arises, as it naturally will. Firstly, I want to say that doubt is a normal part of learning how to live in the wish fulfilled and will naturally dissipate the more you practice and cultivate self-trust. Nevertheless, this feels incomplete to leave you without addressing it here. I want to remind you that feeling doubt does not mean you're doing anything wrong. It's often a natural reflex to the surfacing of old patterns, stories, or emotional agreements you may have subconsciously made. Doubt has a way of softening when you meet yourself in awareness and you remind yourself that you are the powerful creator of your own reality, which you are. And I really hope that you're getting glimpses and glimmers of that by now. If not, there is plenty of content discussing on how to feel like the powerful creator of your own reality. And we will continue to address this concept on many more episodes of Practical and Woo. Living in the wish fulfilled unlocks your creative potential. It alters the way you intuitively solve problems, move through decisions, and express your unique talents. Creativity flows when you feel safe and expands when you feel chosen by your own desires. Living in the wish fulfilled means operating from a creative expression that is less about reaching an outcome and more about expressing your life from your future self who already has what you're wanting. Living in the wish fulfilled is about mastering the art of manifesting through identity rather than effort. As we close, I want you to feel into something with me. You are not reaching for your dreams. Your dreams are reaching for you. They arrive with precision. They arise from the natural byproduct of you allowing yourself to be you. They are invitations, not tests. They are signals from your future self, whispering that they are ready to come into form. Wishful thinking sees desire as a faraway star. Wish fulfilled sees it as a deep knowing that exists already in your soul. May you choose the knowing. May you soften into it. May you claim your own narrative. May you allow the identity of your future self to rise through you. May you walk with the emotional steadiness of someone who recognizes their power and trusts that their inner world is creative, formative, and purposeful. You are capable of the shift. You are capable of the embodiment. You are capable of becoming the one who knows. This is your birthright. This is your blueprint. This is the portal. And you are ready. Trust in that. Trust in you. Until next time.